What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Ammo Box once again. Episode 2 of DadPod, Ammo Box, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know. We haven't even decided on the title yet, have we?
I don't think so.
So we'll figure something out about it.
I think we're calling it the Cowboys won today.
The Cowboys did win today. Yes, they did, and apparently in stellar fashion. As a football fan, I'm always appreciative of it. So, like what you said, Dak had like a big nasty completion. Or you said C.D. Lamb was doing well, right?
Oh yeah, C.D. Lamb had a game. Like what you expect,
right?
As a wide receiver.
Yeah, especially a top tier wide receiver coming out of the draft, because I know he was highly touted.
The Bears gave him opportunities for sure, and they did well with it. I like it.
Right on. Another beautiful Sunday, right?
That's right.
Love it. A whole bunch of stuff happening. If you're paying attention to the Facebook page and all that kind of stuff. Excuse me, I'm gonna burp.
Yeah.
We'll edit that out.
Speaking of
3,
Facebook pages,
2, 1.
We're editing out a burp. That's why we recounted.
There you go.
Anyway, if you're speaking of Facebook pages, you got Michael Henry. You have Michael Henry Music.
Michael Henry's Ammo Box.
There's if you aren't here, get here.
If you can't be here, if you can be here, get here. IYCBHGH, check it out.
That's right. Say it again.
IYCBHGH. If you can be here, get here.
Can be here, get here.
It's my motto in life.
That's my boy coined it.
Literally.
Also, from episode 1, there's Pistol Pete's Trucking LLC's page. If you ain't on it and you want to be on it, get on it. It ain't nothing fancy, but it just lets you know we're limping along and we're doing what we're doing.
Turning wheels, baby.
That's right.
Turning wheels, making deals.
Yeah. Eating asphalt, cashing checks.
Yeah, every once in a while it happens, right? Every once in a while it happens.
That's right.
Well, guys, we're thankful you guys came back to join us and take a look at everything. We're gonna try to entertain you for another half an hour or so. A lot of stuff, like I said, a lot of stuff happened. Studio time happened 2 weeks ago Sunday. I guess that would be today, right? So next 3 tracks are on the way. They will be released here shortly, hopefully in the next week or 2 weeks.
Let's go.
Just before the TCMA Awards, we're doing the Texas Country Music Showdown at the TCMA Awards, which is kind of the opening event on Saturday before the award show on Sunday. We did it last year and had a good time, so they invited us back, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that twice. Yeah. So, what else we got going on? And that will be our last show for the year. Is that TCMA show? So
last official show. Or?
Yeah. Well, last show for this year.
Okay.
We're gonna start back up probably spring of next year. Obviously, we're doing some hiatus stuff because we want to get some studio stuff out. So. And we're not at all delusional enough to believe that being a touring rock star is the only way to make anything out of the music game. Because at 43 now, and my bassist John and co-founder, he is knocking on the door of 60. He's 56, 57, I think now. And I'm sorry, John, if I got that wrong. And if you haven't checked out his guitars, I meant to do a podcast on this a couple weeks ago. He makes amazing guitars, Lone Rock guitars. I've got the first edition, first stamped one built on a strap body. It's amazing. If you guys are into guitars or into music or making noise with stringed instruments, check him out. He's absolutely phenomenal.
He puts business back in a guitar that shouldn't have business. And makes it worth the purchase.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he does it across all platforms. If you prefer wide neck Gibsons and Epiphones, he can do that too. So I prefer kind of a narrow neck Strat. Kind of my preference. I like the noise that I get out of those. And he built a phenomenal rig for me. So we're gonna be doing podcasts on that. I'm gonna do reviews of his guitars. He's got like 12 or 13 right now that are just waiting for me to get off my lazy ass and do the actual review on it. So that's going to be the next thing. So anyway, having said that, progress on Pistol Pete's. What's going on?
Pistol Pete's has been running. We actually had a first major setback, right? Mm-hmm. We've delivered a load that was, and they were like, we don't really like how it showed up, and not necessarily our fault,
right?
And then, but this one, I really felt like we owned it, Mm-hmm. We put it got loaded too close to something, and so it rode 1,700 miles. It got erosion fencing bouncing against it
right
the whole way, so we scratched it up. I don't know where the dents come from. who knows what happens, what actually happens or didn't happen.
Right.
Was it road debris? Who knows?
Right.
But sometimes you just got to eat. You got to eat a little crow. You step in and you go, is it worth the insurance claim or is it worth just just owning it? You know what I mean?
Right.
And being like, how do we want to deal with it together? Talk to the customer or the person giving you the business as far as we're concerned, and being like, can we both be successful from this?
Right.
Right. Instead of punishing ourselves and making an insurance claim and being, all this, then.
Well, it's got to be faster if you're cooperating with each other too. I would imagine, right?
Exactly.
Because you're waiting for an insurance company to do their thing, and then their insurance company to do their investigation. Blah blah blah. If you guys just handle it up front, I mean, I'd imagine it's probably way easier. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it took almost 2 weeks from drop, and they're like, "So this is what we're showing to you," and I was like, "We'll just let's just be upfront with each other." I as the owner, I talk directly to the broker.
Right.
I know the load. I mean, at the end of the day, the load's mine. That's how I feel. Then it was for me. It was let's decide what I owe you.
Mm-hmm.
So the customer's happy, and it doesn't really negatively affect me at the end of the day. Other than, I mean, we take a loss either way, but I think the lesser loss we took by saying we'll come out of pocket for this, don't make an insurance claim.
Right.
And
short-term cash loss versus
for the next months.
Right. Yeah, a short-term cash loss versus a long-term customer relation loss. I mean, it's an easy call to make. You know what I mean?
I feel like the faster we could resolve it for the broker and the customer, they don't have such a negative outlook on us.
Right.
That's what I was looking for, more than how am I profitable about
right.
this. That wasn't the matter. It shouldn't have been delivered that way.
Honesty in business?
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about, Josh? What kind of planet are you from?
I know, stop it.
Oh my goodness.
But no, that's what I wanted, and I would hope they give me the same respect if we do something that's not our fault, and we have the proof the next time, or whatever happens, because the variables in trucking. I mean,
right.
Come on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Here we are.
I dig it.
It's good. You recover. I mean, it wasn't like the end of the world.
Right.
So.
As long as the world can
Let's
keep
have
turning.
a conversation, and the conversation worked out, and everybody's happy. Nobody's upset.
Right.
And
that's what you fight, especially now. And it being in the car industry, obviously everybody always expects that you're going to take advantage of them as soon as they don't even pull onto the drive yet. The door hasn't opened automatically for them to be able to pull onto your service drive, and they automatically have it in their brain, this guy's going to fuck me.
Right.
Because that does exist out there, unfortunately. It is what it is. But those of us who have done our damnedest to build a reputation on honesty and upfrontness, if you will, that's the first thing that we have to fight through to build a relationship with these people who've been coming to the same delership for, I've been coming here since 1965. Well, from 1965 to now, every experience that you've had has been negatives. What? And I'm supposed to fix that? Hi, I've been here 3 months. Shut up. What are you talking about? Of course, you can't say that to him because HR will be all like, "Oh, you can't talk to customers like that."
Oh, HR.
Right.
I hired that on you.
Yeah. And I
had to hire that on you.
And I did that for small companies. Before I worked or after I got out my first dealership, I did that for smaller companies, not box stores or big corps. And it was easy because you're not beholden to a brand. You know what I mean? Like working in the dealerships, you're beholden to the brand that you're selling or that you're repairing, right?
Right.
So you can be
some value.
Yeah, you can be honest, but you can't be honest.
I didn't expect you to be here, but
right.
I know why you're here.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you have that problem that we've seen 3 times a week for the last 15 years?
No.
I have no idea. I've never seen him. Just kidding. But when you're, like I said,
you greased your actual.
Yeah.
I love it.
I haven't made Zerk fittings since '94. But like I said, in a smaller environment, it's easier to be honest with people because you're just dealing with their relationship with their individual vehicle, not their relationship with an entire brand across a planet. You know what I mean?
For sure. And with us, that's the thing. I mean, I'd rather be honest with you. If it's my fault, I don't have a problem taking blame. Does it hurt? Sure, it hurt. It was a big loss it was a large loss. You know what I mean?
Right.
We drove 1,700 miles. That's a lot of diesel.
Yeah.
That's I don't know how you say it. I mean, the ticket covered it, but not
Right.
It was
Break
added
even
in with
again.
a couple loads, obviously, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like we burned a bridge.
Right.
That customer wasn't happy, but I feel like we made them happy by being agreeable with them.
Right.
Actually having a conversation. And it was more important to have that than to be checking. You know what I mean?
Right.
To cash a check. It was
Yeah.
It was more important to us to have a failure and the customer be happy than us be successful off of your money if we did something wrong.
Right.
So,
And then try to fight you down the line or whatever. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well,
And
we'll see.
there's something to be said. Look, nobody
happen.
likes eating a shit burger.
Yeah.
Nobody does. You know.
It's going to happen.
But if you just eat it and you get through it, you know, most of the time, look, there's always going to be those customers who you just cannot satisfy. They are not going to, whatever it is that you offer them. You could offer them, you know, a stake in the dealership that's guaranteed to pay them out at 10% a year for the next 50 years. They will not take it because they are not going to be satisfied.
You can have 25% of Cadillac's income for the next 25 years because you blew up one motor.
Mm-hmm.
You probably run it dry twice and overheated it 3 times.
Yeah.
But you brought it in and said it's our fault.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and depending on the
here's
dealership.
$50,000.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
I don't. I want something unreasonable out of this situation because I have an expectation that somebody set for me off of, you know, talking to Jimmy or whatever. I mean, come on, man.
You can't guarantee me the winning lottery ticket right now?
Yeah. But
Off my
outside
VIN
of
number? What?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
outside of those rare few, you know what I mean? More often than not, people, if you are upfront and you look, if you sit down and eat the shit burger in front of them, they're like, okay, I got you. Love. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're doing. You know, as long as you're actually willing to step up to the plate and say, hey, this was my screw up, they're more than happy to give you an opportunity again. You know what I mean? Because they obviously understand that you understand that accountability is key in making all this stuff go and making sure that all of the money parts in place are handled. And that's accountability. You know, if you screw it up and then you try to pawn that off on somebody else because you can't you don't, not even because you can't, because you don't want to burden the cost of actually stepping up and making it right, you know, that's when things go haywire. So most people, especially in business like you're dealing with, most of the time people are more than happy to give you the benefit of the doubt because they understand via your actions that you understand accountability. You know, If you're willing to if you're willing to eat the crap burger, you know how to avoid it. You're obviously taking steps to avoid it.
For sure.
You know,
and I know 2 people in this life that I'm not a good liar, and they can talk. They can vouch for me. That's my mama, and that's my wife.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it. I ain't never been good at it, and I've told you the truth, no matter what the truth is. If it was, well, let's not get into it. But whatever the truth was, and I mean, I'm willing to own the mistake as a business owner, so that the customer's happy, and I think that's the most valuable part of being a business owner.
Right.
And why would I want to argue with you if you're not happy with the product that came? Even though we're just dropping it off, we didn't build it. You know what I mean? We didn't strap it down. We didn't do this. I don't care. You know, if I built it and you weren't happy with it, I'd want to rebuild it. If I painted it and you weren't happy with the paint job, I'd want to repaint it.
Right.
That just
makes sense.
I think it's a value. Yeah. You know what I mean? To you own your business. You do it for a reason, and you got to have pride in it.
Yeah.
So, you know,
which is something that a lot of people have a hard time understanding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I get it. You know, you're working for somebody else, making an hourly wage or making even salary or even commission based or whatever, and you're just grinding it away every day. I get it because I do it. I do it every day. I do it, but I have to because that's what it takes to support the things that I'm trying to do to everywhere else.
But
you know what I mean?
Your boss expects you to put on a good.
Yeah.
You know, Monet for the customer and be like,
follow the process, execute the plan. You know what I mean? Maximize the revenue, yada yada.
I mean, whether it's sympathy or fake sympathy, whether it's true emotion or not, or but
And
you
let me
have to
tell
have an
you.
understanding with the customer, because if it was your car, you'd be pissed too if
Yeah.
you were in the service drive.
Yeah.
On a brand new car that went 20,000 miles, and now
Don't even
wheels don't turn and
I
the
don't even
roof
get them
don't
started
open.
on
Like,
the modern automotive industry, man.
Yeah,
Don't even get me started. As a guy who loves cars, you know what I mean. And I'm talking old school mechanical fuel pumps. You know what I mean? Easy to work on.
Yeah, let's go old school with it.
And naturally, all that. I mean, just bare minimum stuff. The only
Just
electronics.
a distributor cap.
Yeah.
8 wires.
A 12-volt battery
6
for the
spark
starter.
plugs, you know what
Done.
I mean?
You know what I mean? And we're over. I
Let's
love
go.
cars. And figuring out how much you can do with just that small amount of setup. I love it. As we've gotten into the last 15, 20 years of cars since OBD2, and we've had all this innovation and you know what I mean, and all this the fuel emission stuff and the gas mileage and EVs and
Do we still have
hybrids.
spark plugs, by the way? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
There's a lot of hoopla between there now.
yeah, they're expensive too. Yeah, we got them $28 a piece depending on the car you drive.
Right.
And I never thought I understand everything has inflation or whatever and everything's more expensive, but dadgum, dude. $200 just to replace the spark plugs in your car? I mean, come on, man. Come on, man.
That was just parts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not including the time you're paying to get
inflated
it
labor
done.
to match pricing.
Or doing it your damn self and having to take 2 hours because they shoved those last 2 cylinders underneath the damn firewall.
I also grew up in that school where if you can do it yourself and it's your car,
You did it.
get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, I just broke 40, and if I can do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And if it's something I don't want to do, but I know I can do, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, you're worth the money because
Yeah.
it just is what it is, you know?
And having,
Time. I don't know. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what it is.
and having turn wrenches.
That's why
you
they always have
understand.
value. I mean,
Yeah, you understand. I understand what it takes to pull a car in, rack it up, diagnose it, pull it all apart, put it back together again, close the ticket out, and then send it on its way. It's a lot of time, a lot of energy. You know what I mean? Versus, 1955, 1960, car came in. However long it took to diagnose it, and however long it took to diagnose it, there wasn't any computers or paper, or you know what I mean. There wasn't like a flag system where they logged in on a specific repair and then wrote down their notes and logged out again.
well, yeah. Well, I mean, we just had Kendall's car, the 2004 Impala.
Yeah.
So, you're on that cusp of full, computerized production to whatever.
Right at the edge
for
of it.
Chevy,
Yeah.
and I mean, it wasn't a bad car. The car's been great. Obviously, the water pump was going out. Obviously, it was a radiator thermostat issue. Obviously, it was this, it was that. Seals. The car has 245,000 miles.
That's a lot of miles. Yeah.
Things are gonna wear out.
Yeah. It happens.
I chose to replace the radiator myself. You have to release these weird front frame motor mounts. The whole engine shifted back, like it was left the engine compartment. I was like, I fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I said it. I was like, oh, I messed up, and I had to get out a 2-inch ratchet strap and crank it once I got the car back together to bolt it back down. And I was like. And I bolted it back down to another car that was ready to be worked on. And I was like, I'm glad you stood still, buddy.
It's all right. It's all right.
It was like, my daughter was looking at me like, what are you doing? And I was like, hey, we're making it happen. That's what we're doing.
I'm not really sure.
We ain't having to call nobody, but we're figuring it out on the fly.
We're not gonna give up too quick. You know what I mean?
I loved it, man.
Yeah, and it's a different. That was a subframe car. So that's got 2 subframes front and rear instead of versus your old school single frame, single unit frame, which is way easier to work on in my humble opinion, even though it's heavier. But half the car doesn't try to leave you when you take the radiator. When you take the radiator out,
But I did have to remove half the car.
Yeah,
I can't lie about it.
Yeah.
I had to remove a splash guard. I had to remove this. I had to remove the entire air intake system. I had to obviously dismount those. I don't even know why were they even there? Why is your motor mounts? Was it? I mean, are they motor mounts or what? Where I don't know what they were. They literally grabbed to that front rail. Mm-hmm. That everything.
Oh yeah, your cross motors or your I know what you're talking about.
Everything.
Yeah. They're
like,
motor mounts.
When I unbolted the third one or the second one, and I got the third bolt out, I was like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, it kind of just sits on
it went. And I was like, shenanigans.
That'll do her.
Yep. Yeah. That's going to be a test, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something else, man. I'm not. I can't get on board yet. And I know it's been 25 years since we started subframe cars and OBD2 and all this other stuff. Well, it was 1995,
I mean, I grew up
7,
on
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a minute, 30 years almost. But even at the same time, I'm not sold on the ease of use versus the cost to actually make it do what it's supposed to.
Bro,
Past 75,000 miles.
I grew up on a 1988 or 89 Buick Skylark.
You know.
Which was basically a Pontiac Grand Dam, but at Buick style. It was midnight blue or something. Gorgeous for the year, bro.
Yeah.
The car was hot. I liked it. Inherited a 1996 Nissan Dodge Neon.
No, wow.
Come on, 4-door, bro. Solid white, 4-banger. That was the fastest production car ever made on the planet at the age of 17, you know.
At least you were going to treat it like it was anyway.
Yeah, I did everything but put a fart can on it, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fast and Furious.
You know they SRT'd those things?
Yes, I do. And I was like more embarrassed that I was like, thank God I got rid of mine before that happened because everybody still knew it wasn't nothing.
Yeah, 140 decibels. 140 decibels of 200
I
horsepower.
graduated into a Volvo 740 forest green station wagon.
Dude,
no
tank.
tinted windows.
Yeah.
With a tan interior. I was like, I am like, what, 1970s hot right now?
Yeah. Yeah, you
19 years old in a station wagon?
A tank. A literal tank those things could take.
I could have ran over trucks.
Yeah, you launch those things off a cliff and still start right up.
It was fantabulous, man.
Good old Volvo.
Oh,
that was the first company I ever worked for in cars. Was one of the dealerships was Volvo, and that's one of the few cars I'm actually really impressed with. That Volvo line was actually really, really good. At least when I was working on it, it's been a while, but
I'm pretty sure they're still pretty clean cars.
Yeah.
I don't hear a lot of complaints about Volvos, but I don't see a lot of Volvos on the road. You hear, we're down to the mass production cars, the Rams, the Dodges, the Fords, and the Chevys. Other than that,
yeah, American market is there's a huge portion of it, and I'm loyal I'm an old school loyalist when it comes to American cars. You know what I mean? My dad was a GM guy, and I wanted to be a GM guy. Yeah, I'm 100% Ford guy. You know what I mean? As it goes, and I understand. Look, I understand that Ford has its problems, just like GM has its problems, just like Mopar has their problems.
There you go.
They are all
called it Mopar. You didn't want to say Ram.
Well, they are all ahead of the same monster. You know what I mean? In the American car industry, you got transmissions for one, you got differentials for another, you got engines for the other one. So
for sure.
As far as American, if I'm going to be a fan of an American company, it's going to be Ford because they didn't take the bailout, and that's really my sole stance on it. They didn't take the bailout money, so I was like, all right, Ford it is.
Very fair.
And
fairest perspective.
But outside of that, if I'm going, here's your new breaking news, guys. The car guy, what kind of car does he recommend buying? Toyotas and Hondas. Toyotas all day, all day. Those two companies have figured out how to make their cars run.
They're not made in Beijing. Okay.
They know how to make those cars run forever.
Yeah.
Short of a burnt up clutch that I had that 2020 Civic.
But so we're on as a hotshot driver, you're on hotshot pages, right?
Right.
It's everybody asks what truck should I buy to do this? Should I buy a Chevy, a Ram, or a Ford? Everybody's like, it don't matter.
Yeah.
If you take care of it and you treat it like it should be, treat it for what you're doing with it.
Yeah, and that's the other side of it.
If you are mechanically ensuring everything is fine, you're doing your oil changes every. I don't know how it is on a diesel. Everybody varies. I'm a 10,000 mile guy.
Right.
Let's say 7 to 10 for me. Depends on how hard we run. I'm on fuel filters. I'll run anywhere from 15 to 25 on them if it's letting me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna change it. But at 25, now I gotta be looking at my rear end. I gotta be looking at the transmission fluids. They've been tested.
Yeah.
I'm pulling 14 to 17,000 pounds on them.
Yeah.
they're hitting the higher temps. They're running their lubrications.
Yeah,
dry.
that tension's pulling.
It's
on
all
it.
been tested.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're willing to put the money back in them, they'll give you every mile you want to get.
Forever.
I've looked at a 2017 Ford F350 with a custom flatbed put on it that had 417K on it.
Right.
And they wanted 14 for it, and I'm like, it's
Yeah.
$500,000. Basically, that's $500,000.
Right.
I'm like, I can't give 14 for a $500,000 truck.
That's hard. Yeah, especially in 5 years.
Do I think it's worth the purchase?
Could be
Yeah,
for sure.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. To limp it around or to pull my camper
Yeah.
against my gasser Dodge 1500.
Right,
Sure,
right.
dude. I'd haul it all day behind that Ford before I put it behind that.
Yeah,
Dodge
I wouldn't
1500.
necessarily put it in the fleet for work, but I could
No.
definitely get some use out of it for
To be my 20,000 mile a year truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put another 2 on it.
Right.
I
Take
know
around
you're
have fun
gonna
truck.
So I mean, again, it comes down to finesse, care.
Yeah.
If you run your truck like your bank account, your truck ain't gonna run.
Right. Right.
I can promise you that.
And that's the other thing, right?
It wants finesse, just like your wife.
So as somebody who's been in and out of people's cars for 10 years, as a technician, as a service writer, I've been in and out of people's cars for a decade now. The common denominator across all major failures, regardless of the brand, is lack of maintenance, right? Complete lack of maintenance, or poor design.
What is maintenance?
Right, exactly. Right? Or just poor design, right? Every manufacturer has their little glitch. That's why they have recall lists that are 1,000 miles long, because some manufacturer that they were using for whatever part didn't do what they were supposed to do, and it ended up killing 3 people. That's why you have recalls. That's why they do it. It's way more common than it should be, in my humble opinion. But at the same time, we have like twice as many people on the planet as we did back in like 1935 or whatever. So, I mean, you take the good with the bad, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, we're producing. I mean, between houses and vehicles, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, we're off the charts in
Yeah.
productions, and that's why car lots are empty.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling you cars right off the truck. Well, this
Yeah.
one's the same,
They're-
but it's not.
They were pre-selling cars
It's-
until the government
yeah.
called them on it. So no, you can't do that, fool. You can't start the warranty before you take delivery of the truck. Like, come on, man.
So there you go. You know,
But that's demand, though.
yeah, we're in
right?
a market where the demand is not being met,
Yeah.
and
And that's our own fault because we backed ourselves in the corner with some of the manufacturing things. But that's a whole nother.
but it's come to regulations.
Whatever.
It's come to
Yeah.
over volume of what providers is it? Are they indecisive because of cost? Are they? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Me and
Maybe.
Mike live in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we have seen houses go up
Don't even start me, bro.
that are. You're like,
Yeah.
y'all built those?
They added 4,000
And
4,000 homes in this
it's the
little
amount
area.
of volume that's being put out across, between Rome and 35 and Fort Worth.
Right. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, and of course we're kind of in a little pocket where everybody came out of California and Illinois and New York and all that stuff. Where this is kind of where they came to, because we had some of the best economic opportunity here, but some of the lowest property taxes or the easiest property taxes, and no state income tax, no blah blah blah. So this is
When you
where
come from
people came.
California to here, you're
Oh yeah, rolling in it, dude.
rolling, and it's not even for that. It's just how it goes back to production. Like, what quality is happening?
Right.
What's the quality in business you're doing that y'all can put up houses that fast?
Right.
Apartment complexes. We're watching storage buildings go up, and there's 1,000-room storage buildings for public storage or
Yeah, all storage or whatever.
all
yeah.
storage. Yeah, all.
I've
storage,
seen
public
2 of those
storage,
all
or box
storages things
storage.
pop up and then
It's
close within 6 months, and
Yeah.
then somebody else came in and opened it back up.
Yeah.
That's how
I'm
sensitive
like-
the market seems to be, ebbing and flowing. Unreal.
I don't know. It's just wild to watch how fast it's happening, and
Yeah.
I know I think we're sidetracked Sally in every which way we can go today, but
Well,
hey,
That's where we
sometimes you
go.
got to send it.
it's full send, full send. Drop the hammer and let her go.
I love it, but I think that's the best thing about sitting down in this room is we can just look at each other and go,
Well, yeah.
let's
what the whole-
spitball it. And
That's the whole
we'll
point.
call it Spitball Sunday today.
Right.
We've been every which way, man.
Every which way.
Every which way.
So I got to ask you. So this has been a huge thing. It's like every YouTube channel and whatever. Well, all the fight ones anyway. I've been talking about the Oliveira, Makachaev thing. So I got to ask your opinion. We haven't really talked about it yet. So I wanted to get your opinion.
I did not buy the pay-per-view. I have not seen the full fight.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the finishing. What was it? A hook?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a right hook, just off of a leg kick. Maybe the hand went a little low.
Mm-hmm.
Got caught. Got a little lazy, expecting an up kick to happen.
Right.
Makachev took side, saw the arm,
Mm-hmm.
just went head to armpit and triangled him.
And it was
triangle, clean. I don't even think he fully crossed over. I don't think Oliveira was expecting.
It looked like he wasn't going to be able to. From what I remember, he was in full mount and ready to put the squeeze on. Yeah. And just at the last second, if I remember correctly, Oliveira turned his hip up, and Makachev popped out and just whack, and it was almost instantaneous. You saw Oliveira
Did he actually cross over Makachev or no?
Yeah. He got
as soon as he crossed over, so
yeah.
I mean, he had the squeeze on him, and I was like, I think Oliveira got a little lazy.
Yeah.
I think he got a little hyped
a little
up
complacent,
on himself,
maybe. Yeah.
And didn't really bring on the full fight.
Yeah.
I think he's better. I think if they rematch, he'd have a different expectation of himself. I think it'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah.
For the run he did to get to the champion belt and be the champion.
Yeah.
With what, 2 title defenses, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or did he do 1?
I think it was 2. I'd have to look it up.
I think he deserves 1.
Yeah.
Either way. Because he's old school UFC to me.
Right.
And he came back, reinvented himself, and really went on a run.
And a savage.
I think,
and an absolute savage.
Oh, yeah. He did a couple guys real nasty.
Yeah.
I think he deserves
Yeah.
another crack. You know what I mean?
I'd say
I think anybody that actually came to win the belt deserves the next crack before you get the next level, number
before
3
next
or number 2 or number
up.
4 or comes and eats it.
That makes sense.
To me, I think that's a fair. He literally did work to get there, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he went nasty on a nasty run.
Yeah.
And it was a really clean run, flawless in a way.
Was it seven fights, right? A 7-fight win streak to get back after a three run loss.
He definitely deserves a crack.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, let's really make it happen.
Yeah.
So,
and that's really what I love about.
I mean, if it was
MMA
Bones, if it was
I can't wait to see Bones,
if it was
I can't
Stipe,
wait to see.
if it was Ngannou, they're all gonna get a double crack at it. So.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Jones go heavyweight, dude.
Dana White.
I'm so excited about this heavyweight John Jones thing.
Let him have it.
Right, for real.
Yeah.
For real. You want to talk about the biggest ticket, the biggest card, and of course, I mean, they have to realize that. Dana has to realize that the biggest card in the history of the UFC will be John Bones Jones as a heavyweight against Francis Ngannou. Dude, it's got to be. It's got to be.
I don't even know how I feel about Bones against Stipe. I'm like, Stipe, you don't have to do it.
Yes. Honestly, I think Jones. Jones would wipe. Look, Stipe, I love you.
Hurt. Oh yeah.
As my immigrant man, dude, I love you. I think you're one of the greatest role models that UFC has ever had, especially at the heavyweight division. You and Daniel Cormier at the top of that list all day.
225, 230, bro.
Dad, he's 255 right now, bro. That is a monster. That is a monster of a human being who's capable of doing that to another human being.
He's a nasty 255.
Dude, he should not be. That's fear. That is instant, and I'm not a small guy, but I'm not a huge guy. But at 6'5", my dad was 6'5". My dad was 6'5", 280. I understand how big that is of a human being. Being as good at John Jones as John Jones is at destroying people, and then being that size, instant fear.
And I'm 6'2", 250 right now.
Right.
But I'm not like a big 250.
Right.
I am the laziest 250 you could be. And I'm like, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
I do not want to meet another 6'2", 250 guy that's in shape. I'm be like, yeah, you got that.
Yeah.
You want a beer?
Whose older brothers were offensive and defensive linemen, you know what I mean? That's what you had to.
I don't want to be
compete
weight
with.
cut Brock Lesnar
No.
and eating that heavyweight.
Speaking of that, so I saw Brock Lesnar's old, I think 1999 championship match against, I think it was Steve Neal in college. In college, he wrestled at 285. 285 pounds. And he
True
looked
Viking blood, bro.
lean, bro. At
But this-
285, he looked lean. How in the fart balls does that kind of human exist in this day and
He
age?
is that breed of
Unbelievable.
lineage that's...
Built like a tree. It's unreal, dude.
He's like a Viking, true Viking lineage or something. Because like that's just... When they walked into your village, you were like...
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, pack it up. Because we either got to run fast or we're going to lose it here.
Here's all the goblets and
Yeah.
all the gold we got. We're out.
Yeah. Yeah. If he walked into a Walmart with a horn hat and an axe, I don't think anybody would be like, what's that? It's like, oh, it's a Viking. It's a gigantic Viking
Other
person
than
with
a
an
giant
axe.
sword tattoo up
course.
his chest,
You
you
know.
know. But you know,
A sword
that's
of Damocles, which is a whole nother crazy thing.
Here we go.
Unbelievable. That,
Conversations that can happen.
you know, an incredible human being. Incredible
Yeah, I mean,
specimen of a human being.
He's
know?
one of a kind, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah.
will be the Brock Lesnar of that size for
Everything.
wrestling MMA ever.
Yeah.
And I mean, Ngannou doesn't have stature to that man,
Right.
in my opinion.
No, I hate
Ngannou would beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
But
It's just pure compact physical power.
who's the other London English fighter guy?
Overeem.
No,
No.
go another one.
UFC?
Oh yeah.
Heavyweight?
Yes.
Who was the other one?
Pat Barry and him had one of the greatest fights in heavyweight of all time. Pat Barry hurt him. Oh, what's his name? Why can't I
British
think of
guy?
it? Oh, yeah, like at least London or England or big boy.
Who the heck was that? Now I gotta look it up. This is why God invented phones. We're gonna use it.
We're also gonna edit this part out.
No, hell no, we'll leave it in. Fuck it.
He's black, big black boy.
You talking about Czech Congo?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, he was French Guyana.
French.
Yeah,
sorry, I
Yeah.
threw you off.
Pat Barry whooped that boy till he was
Czech
almost
Congo though,
dead.
was a huge specimen. He was just one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
His physicality was one of a kind.
Yeah.
He's just a big giant man.
Yeah, he wasn't necessarily the most skilled fighter. Don't get me wrong; he was a great kickboxer, but he wasn't the most adept at it.
But huge.
Yeah,
Lesnar, huge.
yeah. Just these
I mean,
ribeye
even
steaks.
Frank Mir at his time was just a
Yeah.
big guy. That's
I think
why
he
was
topped
able
out
to
like 265.
submit like that.
Yeah.
Like he did was.
Yeah,
They were the top end. You know,
Yeah.
you had heavyweights checking at 230 trying to fight this. I cut weight to make 265.
Right.
That's a big difference.
well, like Randy, right? Randy Couture,
Couture.
right? Fought at 225 to 235 in heavyweight.
That was his natural weight.
Yeah, and faced Brock Lesnar at a weight cut 265. And I love Randy to death, but he just
What was the opportunity?
he abused Randy Couture in that ring because he had 40 pounds on him. You know.
Couture actually did work.
Yeah,
I mean,
he did okay, but there's only so much a man can do.
late 30s.
Yeah. No,
Against
I get 38, maybe 30, 38. I want to say it was almost 40, but that means 37, 38. Yeah, but there's only so much you can do with a man of that size, who's that trained at holding people down and
He
not
said,
letting
he hit
them
me with
move.
a lunchbox. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, right. Shane Carwin hands, you know.
Yeah.
But,
Even Shane Carwin
yeah,
fell
he had to succumb
with his
to them.
lunchbox hands
Yeah.
because he gassed out trying to pound him out.
Yeah. Yeah, Shane Carwin he was a specimen too. He was a big old boy fighter, like 255, 260. He wasn't no punk either.
He's a weight cutter to make top end.
Yeah,
That's wild.
triple X gloves. You know, he's the only two people that had to make triple X gloves for were Carwin and Brock.
Fists.
You know,
Yep.
those meat hooks they got thrown around. People. Yeah, UFC heavyweight division, man. I was always a big fan of it, and it looks like they're moving along nicely. I mean, Ngannou's a great rep for the
I think he's a great champion.
potential power of a human specimen. You know what I mean? I think he's definitely at the top of it.
Leon Edwards just took over 185, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Over
That's
the nightmare, the Nigerian nightmare.
Yeah, Usman.
Yeah.
Who was
in a fashionable way.
Yeah.
Like, really put in work to end up landing that head kick.
Yeah. That was pretty killer. That was one of the better highlights.
Doing his thing.
Sterling, he's 55 or 45.
Well, I think he's down to 135.
Is he 130? Okay, so he's actually down even in that division because Mighty Mouse went over
There's no open weight class right now that doesn't have a great champion.
Yeah. Volkanovski.
McGregor's got nowhere to go where he cuts weight, juices, or goes to 205. He's got nowhere to go because he can't fight.
Well, his body's broken. His body's broken.
His spirit's broken because he can't just stand up anymore.
Right.
He's been rolled up too many times. Everybody knows all I got to do is wrestle the shit out of him. Done. So.
Yeah, fold him in half in the corner and fuck him for 3 months.
Yeah.
Three minutes.
You ain't got to submit him. He ain't got no.
Yeah.
He hasn't developed, you know?
Right.
He came in hard, like some fighters have done. He did great.
Yeah.
I mean, he's made way more money than I have. So.
Fair enough.
Can't hate him for it.
You know?
It was exciting to watch.
Yeah. But I think his career is a victim of that hard start.
But then he made some smart decisions on the money side. Let's go.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I really think his fighting career is one of those that's going to be mired by his hard start. You know what I mean? He came out so fast and so hitting so hard and swinging
quality opponents.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Yeah, but he did it full blast. There was no pace. There was no feeling him out. It was like, okay, now I got your rhythm. Now I'm going to smash the crap out of you. And it was just full blast. And now I think his body's actually paying for it. You know, and he's fought injured before. He's fought tweaked. Physically tweaked before. And I think it's to the point now where his body just doesn't want to play the game anymore. I know his mind does because you sit down and watch enough of Conor McGregor stuff, you know his brain is like, I am the best at everything, and I will gorilla fuck anybody who says anything different. But I don't think his body can keep up now, and it's sad. It's sad because he was a fun champion to watch.
Yeah, you know? I don't think he has the ability, the skill to adapt to it. He knows how he can get beat. It's already in his head.
Right.
I don't think he can adapt to it to any fight he takes. That's not a stand-up fight for him.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's probably true. Unless
it's in his head, he's already too worried about it.
Yeah,
he'll get knocked out.
Yeah, unless you're Yoel Romero, just born of that extra strength, humanity
There's another specimen.
You know,
at 205, that's just raw.
You know, and I know that the conspiracy.
Him and Paulo Costa are two weird specimens that are like, oh, we just eat jerk chicken or something. You know what I mean? What do you do that you're that clean and you're not on? Yeah. You know.
I know the conspiracy theories already exist about them, that they were like the Cuban government's whatever about genetic engineering. I 100% believe that, and thank you for my shot. I 100% believe that he was part of that Olympic training program out of Cuba. That was, you know what I mean? That was feeding these guys acai berry, you know what I mean? But give them a good diet. It's
been my
high in
favorite
protein.
berry since I got large. Was the acai berry that's turning me back into the physical specimen I am.
You know, yeah. I don't doubt that they were part of that at all. You hear Joe Rogan talk about it, and about like the doctors that looked at him when he broke his face or whatever. It's like this dude started to heal within 24 hours. Like that's not a human being. That's not an alien specimen. You know what I mean? Legitimately. And he's 45. And he was competing at the highest level in his mid-40s. I think he's still competing. Even now, unbelievable specimen. I don't know what to do with that dude. I don't know what to do. Michael Bisping, I know you. Michael Bisping. God, he's a scary individual.
Well, even Bisping, man, he was like, I can't do it no more. Yeah. He got that one eye shutting down. He's taking physical abuse, and it shows that maybe he's never done anything altering. So
you hear Crow Cop. I didn't hear about this until a couple months ago, but Crow Cop had like a minor stroke. Yeah, so he had to stop Impact training because he had obviously retired from MMA, but even as just practicing and working out, he had to stop doing Impact stuff. Yeah,
what he does
because his neck has been so jacked up from being dumped on his head so often.
That was that Gabriel Gonzalez
dude.
Thing, bro.
I can't watch it.
When you get knocked out by your own kid,
I can't watch it to this day.
And that leg never unfolded. They just let him lay there. And I was like,
I remember watching that I didn't watch it live.
Thank God for flexibility.
Yeah. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it like as I'd gotten a whole bunch of copies of the UFC from like 0 to or first one to like 145 or whatever, and that was one of the fights that was in when I went in my little rabbit hole watching everything. And I remember watching Gonzaga throw that leg up there, and watching Mirko's eyes just kind of shut down.
He did everything for a low kick, or a mid body kick. He dropped everything, but it was just
and caught him. And you see that and Crow Cop's body goes.
It was full sleep.
Straight down.
Yeah.
It doesn't like fall over and leaning. It goes. And underneath it is his ankle.
The lights were out. They left. They went to some
Cabo.
Beautiful tropical resort.
They went to Cabo.
There was nobody in the house.
Yeah. I can't to this day because every highlight reel you watch on YouTube. Greatest UFC or MMA knockouts. It's always one of them is inevitably Gonzaga kicking Crow Cop's head off,
or Crow Cop kicking somebody's head off.
Everybody else's head off.
I mean, he did it for a long
Mark
time.
Hunt, Van Oyster. I mean, you could go down the list.
He knocked out people that didn't get knocked out.
Yeah.
And they got knocked out.
Well,
it happens.
Randleman, right? Kevin Randleman. Randleman
do?
beat him the first time, and then Crow Cop comes back and beats Randleman the next tournament. And Kevin Randleman, I mean, you talk about one of those specimens, right? Those Czech Congo, Ngannou specimens. God, dog.
For the time period, it was
in Japanese titty popping too. Boy, it's just in the neck and the tongue. I mean, just test it up, or whatever they were doing. I'm pretty sure USADA didn't exist over there. But yeah, but he took him. He took him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He took him. And Randleman had to quit, which was amazing,
I'm sure they've all done it at some point because everybody wants that competitive edge. When
it's
available, then if it was available for everybody, then it's not an edge.
Yeah.
It's whose body takes it better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way they wrap up their hands and stuff, you're just throwing bricks at each other.
Yeah.
If you're not doing some kind of recovery, augmentation or whatever, you're gonna die. I mean, for God's sake, dude. You see, when I saw Overeem's face with that Ngannou uppercut, you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, that's why they juice.
When he hit him with that uppercut, it was like
video game.
I think all our souls left our body. I was like, where do we go? Are we still here?
Yeah.
Everybody in the arena left. It was the nastiest, cleanest, wound up uppercut probably ever thrown.
And it's one of those.
I feel like Ngannou did this a couple times before it was thrown, but he didn't. You know what I mean?
He just threw that natural shovel thrower.
Shit.
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah. That video game.
He grabbed Root and just fucking sent it to Jesus.
Yeah, I watched that punch and I like you see Overeem's soul kind of stay in place, but his body leaves. His body leaves the space that his spirit is now occupying.
It's the opposite of what you see. Instead of his soul leaving,
oh my God,
his body left, but his soul stayed.
Hit so hard, his body left so hard,
his soul stayed still.
Yeah, it was unreal, man. That was fun. I shouldn't say fun. It's horrible to watch somebody get knocked out like that, but it was.
Combat sports.
Yeah, there's something still gratifying about it. I don't know why, but all right, y'all. We're gonna wrap it up.
We done rattled off all we can rattle off.
We've wasted enough of our brain cells talking to each other. Again, guys, stay tuned for all the good stuff we got coming up. We'll do another one next Sunday as well. Yep. And we'll just keep throwing content at you and keeping you abreast.
Or not.
If you can be here, get here. Hashtag IYCBHGH. Use it on all your social media stuff to.
If you ain't here, you should be here.
Yeah, you do. Come on. Obviously, go by the Facebook, YouTube stuff from Michael Henry and Southern Oak Band, all that stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the new videos are coming up. Stay tuned. Mid-November, album will be released. So keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, and we'll keep trying to stuff them full of content. And who is this? Oh there's a naked baby in my room.
We gotta go offline right now. It's
all right.
To be officially fired.
I love you guys. If you can be here, get here. Later.
We are officially offline.
There it is.
We are now being audited by the government. What are you doing naked?